All right. So today we have with us on the podcast, Drone to 1K, Sinuhe Montoya. Not Sinuhe, not Sino, Sinuhe Montoya.
I
Every time I
appreciate
tell somebody your name, they're like, who is Sinuhe? I'm like, it's not Sinuhe. So anyways, thanks for coming on the podcast, man. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company?
Hey there, everybody. My name is Sinuhe Montoya. And David, thank you for making that very clear to people. And just to drive that point home, I always tell people the word insinuate. My name's right in the middle, right?
Okay.
I run a company here out of San Diego, California that I started a few years ago. It's called Drone Quote. And we specialize in helping solar companies and roofing companies get a good understanding of what's going on a particular roof that may be inaccessible to them, or maybe within out of a period of time that they could service it. We're a lot more nimble. We could respond a lot quicker and process imagery a lot quicker than their guys can. So we do a lot of business with roofing and solar contractors to do roof surveys.
Awesome. Why don't we kind of try to start from the beginning, I guess, of your drone journey. When did you first start getting into drones, and tell us a little about that?
So I used to work at a solar installer way back in the day, and I always tell people.
Hold on real quick. For people who are unfamiliar with solar, when you say solar installer, you're talking about a company that is installing solar panels on like buildings?
Solar panels on buildings, on roofs. They put on a new roof for a customer at the same time, or sometimes the customer just wants a roof, right? But
Gotcha.
yes, we're talking about solar on roofs for residential and commercial purposes.
Okay, cool. So you're working for a solar installer.
Yeah, and I say this as a joke, but it's actually true. I'm 5'6" and I'm scared of heights. So maybe if I was 6'5", I probably wouldn't be scared of heights. But I was that I was dealt. And I was having to get on roofs to take measurements and to conduct a survey and so on. And it wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't really have a liking for it. And I realized that this was back in 2013 timeframe. I thought that there had to have been a better way. And I bought this little tiny toy drone with like a camera that I soldered on and everything, and a receiver that I built out of like crayons and toothpicks pretty much. And I just started seeing that there was a potential there. So I bought a drone in early 2014, and I started using it for my line of work. And it made a really big difference for me because I was able to take far more accurate measurements. I was able to get a better understanding of what was taking place on the roof, because when you're on a roof that's 2 stories tall and it's got a 512 pitch, or about 24 degrees, you're being very mindful of not falling off of the roof. And you're paying a lot of attention to that. And as a result, it can take away from the attention to detail that you could put on the roof, right? And you may be looking at one particular sector of the roof and fail to notice something else, right? That may be really close to the eave, or really close to, danger, if you will. And by utilizing the drone, I realized that it was saving me not only a lot of time, but it was really saving me a hassle, and it was keeping me a lot safer. And I'm a father of 2 kids, so I want to come home every day, right? So does everybody else that gets on roofs. And I just realized that, look, this drone is just making my job so much easier. And I just continued implementing standard operating procedures for that drone. And it made a big difference in how I worked, and more importantly, how I sold.